you speak, how you walk, how you blink, how you talk, how you teach, how you reach, let it sink.
What's your purpose? What's your passion? Did it pay? What's your plan? Is it plain?
On a plane, how'd you play? I'm just playing. What's your purpose? What's your passion?
Did it pay?
What's your plan? Is it plain? On a plane, how'd you play? I'm just playing.
Focus. Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Quick disclaimer, if you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, make sure you go check those out before we go any further. After several comments and, just certain people sharing their stories with me privately in my DMs on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is @SaySalita, but you can also feel free to drop down in the comments. I kind of just decided to just get it all out and just share everything that I know in this area or that I've experienced, and hope that it helps and it inspires, because that's what this channel is about. Of course, there's fun content and mom content and just documenting my life's journey and my little world, but I also want to make sure that my channel is representing a specific purpose, and for me that is always having relatable content and just making people feel seen and heard and loved and understood. I genuinely feel like that's my life's purpose in any form. I'm creative in many different ways, and I'm finally starting to implement those things throughout this year. This is obviously a public platform, but I have some private things that is going on in the works. So sometime in the future, you'll see a pattern, where, whatever I'm putting out is meant to be helpful and resourceful and inspiring. So I don't believe I lived these experiences or my life for no reason at all, just for me to keep in. So that's why I'm here. But I wanted to just get this topic out of the way because, to be honest, it is something that I still deal with, not as bad as before. I went through my own narcissistic relationship 2 years ago, and some things can be a little triggering at times. That it's just a long journey, like I said in my last video, if you've seen it, but it's something that can stick for a long time when you've dealt with that type of relationship, or if you've had narcissistic parents or friends or just whatever your experience is with a narcissist, if you've encountered one, and if you're aware of it, because a lot of times we aren't really aware of it. But this is to help you guys and share my experience and what I know. A lot of what I know is from a lot of research, and I just found it to be relatable and checking off all the boxes of everything that I experienced with narcissism. I watch a lot of content with DoctorRamani, and I'll drop some of those videos that have kind of helped to construct, my dialogue about narcissism. And I'll drop the links to those videos down in the description. Excuse me if y'all hear my neighbor outside. I'm not finna go out there and tell him to be quiet, because I don't feel like dealing with it. But try to drown that out like I'm trying to, if you can hear it. But here are the top 10 signs to figure out if you're in a relationship or dating a narcissist. Wait. Before we continue, if this is a word that you're tired of or you see as a trend, please do yourself and me a favor by clicking off now, because this is something that is very serious and affects many lives of many men, women, and children. And it's literally no joke if you've had an experience with a narcissist in your life in any capacity. So, not here for the trolls or people that think it's just a trend and just just has negative thoughts surrounding narcissism. This content just isn't for you, and that's okay. But let's get into it. I always halfway forget this for some reason, but if you are here to stay, then make sure you like this video. Feel free to share this content and subscribe. Okay, so one of the first signs, a very early sign, let's say you're on a first date, a second date, or maybe you've even been talking to this person for a week or two, but it's very early on and they're already in love with you. You feel like you're already in love with them, and you feel like they're your person, your soulmate, everything is just rainbows and butterflies. And just to be clear, not that that can't actually happen, but the problem is that you can't tell the difference, and that's how a lot of us tend to get caught up in these types of relationships. But one main difference is moving too fast, kind of rushing the situation. If it is a healthy situation, then it would more so sound something like, you know, I'm starting to feel a connection to you and grow feelings, but I want to make sure that we're taking our time and we get to know each other, and, you know, just go at a pace. You know, it don't have to be those exact words, obviously, but if someone is indicating that they do like you, you know, they do have feelings for you, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's natural to feel that. When you first like someone, you know, those hormones basically come up, and that initial feeling is always going to feel like a boost in your endorphins. But a person that wants to take it slow or just allows it to naturally progress, not moving too quick, moving in with each other and y'all together every single day all the time, you know, dates stop. You might go on one, but then y'all just rocking out every single day in the house or just doing whatever. Y'all jump into life things really quickly. That may be a sign. But one of the next signs is, okay, so now let's say you're a month in and you're starting to notice that you're being isolated from your friends. You might not see it that way at first, or not just your friends, your family, or just anybody. This person is now like one of the only people that you're ever seeing, you know, except for maybe your coworkers when you're going to work or whatever the situation. This is like the only person that you're around all the time. Granted, obviously when you're an adult, you know, you might have a family or, you know, just a partnership of some kind, children, whatever. We all got our own lives. We're not always around our family and friends as much as you would be when you're younger, or if you don't have a family or you don't have a relationship. But I mean, like, this person even tries to stop you from seeing them in some way, and it's like no, why do you have to go hang out with them? They don't even care about you. They barely call you, or just something negative, or even just trying to just coerce you to stay home, or like, oh, you said you wanted to finish that project, or you said you was gonna help me do this today, like, and that may happen sometimes. That's realistic as well. But I mean, but when I say these things, it's in like a excessive way, and it's every time you want to go hang out with family or friends without them. They may also do things like start an argument with you just to be able to storm out the house. And if you're a family with one car, one vehicle, and they leave, then obviously you're stuck in the house yet again, or left to call someone else to come pick you up or whatever. But whatever they can do to keep you to themselves so that they can control and manipulate you. And then now, while you're always in the house with them, or you're stuck inside the house when they leave, now they're starting to breadcrumb you, where the arguments may seem more frequent now, but then, you know, you guys either make up by them acting like nothing ever happened, their mood just changes very quickly, or they shower you with something, they love bomb you. That's a very big thing, especially if it's someone that has money or they're financially secure, or even sometimes when they're not, they might be using your money if it's the same account or whatever it is. Then they'll shower you with flowers and letters and, you know, just all the things that they know would appease you, because 9 times out of 10, my battery's about to die, but 9 times out of 10, you know, in the beginning, they got you to open up and just reveal everything you want and need so that they can portray themselves as that person to either use it against you or to use those tactics to always win you back. They also get you to open about your childhood and want to hear everything about you so they can use those things against you. But when they're in their mode of trying to make up with you, they might love bomb you and just shower you with all these things, and then next thing you know, you're back to being on bad terms with them or arguing, and it's just, you just can't win. So then at this point, you want to stay in the house because your appearance might be changing, because you might become depressed, you might not be eating, you might just, you know, not want to give off bad energy to people when you're around them. It's really just like a toxic cycle, and it really deeply affects who you are and makes you question yourself, and just tears you all the way down and all the way apart, to where you have to literally build yourself up like brick by brick to get to just who you were before. But 9 times out of 10, if you're a woman like me, you're gonna come out even better. And just to be clear, when I say that, I just mean I prayed. You know, I leaned on my higher power, my Father God, to really get me out of that situation. But not everyone has that privilege. Basically, some people end up dead if you're dealing with a malignant narcissist who is physically abusive. Some people are mentally manipulated so bad that they end up wanting to off themselves, basically. But because they have you in that space now, they can pretty much toy with you and play that game with you where they always win you back, they always get you back. They know how to do that so that when they want to be who they truly are, you're not going to leave, or you're not going to say anything because you're starting to get silenced. That's the unfortunate thing. A lot of people that you may see in these types of relationships who've been there for 20, 30 plus years, 9 times out of 10, they just become quiet, you know, and they lose their voice and who they are. So that's another sign. You tend to deal with extreme highs and extreme lows. Like I said, depending on the type of narcissist. And I'm gonna create another video for that as well, to know the different types of what you're dealing with in your life in general, whoever in your life. So stay tuned for that one. So now we're at the point where, yes, we're going through all this extreme highs and lows, but now, and like I said, this may be even in the beginning, the first few months, the first 6 months to a year. Some narcissists can hold it together until you get married. You might be 5 years in, you know, it's levels to this. But 9 times out of 10, these signs do show early. You just have to pay attention to them. So you're arguing with them, you're going back and forth with them because at this point you still care, you still feel like there's hope. So you're becoming reactive, and you might tend to argue with them the way that they argue with you, to think that that works because it works for them on you. But you notice that you're not winning because they're not taking any accountability for anything. They're not apologizing. You're not getting through to them. They don't hear you. They don't care. Basically, they don't care. You might even start to try to take accountability or put things on yourself, blame yourself, to hope that that works or penetrates them in some kind of way, but it's not. And they're just never going to accept blame or accept when they're wrong or apologize. Sometimes they might apologize if they feel that it's going to benefit them in some type of way. Or if they're trying to get back with you, get in your good graces and do the love bombing thing and shower you with all the love that you have always said that you wanted and they can't seem to be consistent with. There may even be times when you're begging them, you're pleading to them, and just trying to do whatever just to get back on a good page, because you're frequently just going through the motion, the ebbs and flows of the ups and downs, and you just want to just have one good week, one good month. So now you're trying to do whatever. Or like I said, when you're in an argument and you're just trying to express how you feel or what you need, you can be calm about it. You can be saying it in your most loving tone as possible, and they're just still not showing any empathy. That is like the biggest sign of a narcissist, is when they just have no empathy whatsoever. They place all blame on you or whoever else in their life that, you know, did whatever to them. And granted, yes, people do things to us, they hurt us, and we may voice that, you know, or speak on, you know, the things that have affected us. But the narcissist, no, they just, in the middle of your conversation or arguing or whatever, it's all you, all the time, and that's that. And especially if you are telling them about themselves and telling them how wrong they are or what they're doing, whatever they're not doing good or wherever they're lacking, they're absolutely going to start to project on you. And that's a weird feeling, a weird situation to go through, because when you're telling them how you feel or what they're doing to you, and then they're putting it back on you, then it also makes you feel like you're projecting it back on them, because you're like, no, that's what you do. You do that to me. What are you talking about? So there's like, it's like a battle of projecting, pretty much. But if you're the first person that mentioned, hey, like, I noticed this has been happening, or you've been doing this, and it makes me uncomfortable, or it's hurting me, or whatever, and they're like, what are you talking about? No, that's you. You do that all the time. You do that to me. What about me? They're always going to come back to self and not take any accountability. Now here is when it really can go bad and everything can get really, really dark, is when you're dealing with a narcissist who is physically abusive. But 9 times out of 10, all narcissists are abusive in some way, whether it is verbally, mentally, where they, you know, constantly are manipulating you, and you feel it and you know it, and they gaslight you and they're telling you, no, that's not happening. Whenever you share what you notice is going on, they're denying your reality in some way. Even if they have put their hands on you, they're going to deny it and say she pushed me to do it, or he, because there are women narcissists out there too, let's be clear. But they just somehow will make it your fault, because remember, everything's your fault to them. But regardless, they're abusive in some way, sometimes even financially. Like I said, they might want you to be a stay-at-home mom, and there's nothing wrong being a stay-at-home mom, or even a man saying, baby, I got us, okay? You take care of the house, the kids, you build your businesses or whatever it is that you want to do. There's nothing wrong with that, because a narcissist will not want you to succeed, especially a malignant one who wants to control you and abuse you. They'll keep you locked up in a house, or they'll let you go out and do this, or they might even tell you, here, go get your nails done today, go get your hair done today, go do this or that to make you feel good. But you're going to go back into the cycle of them tearing you down after they made you feel good. And that's how they play that game, and that's how it tends to get to the point of being able to put hands on you, especially if it happens more than once. Me, it did happen subtly, maybe twice before, but it was very subtle, and I believed when it was blamed on me. But the last one, where it felt like I was gonna lose my life, done, had to go, abort mission. But you know, a lot of women stay, and you know, I will never judge that. It's deadly. It's not going to end well. There's children involved. It affects the kids and how they view love and how they view the world and men and women. Even with that, you know, they'll lie to you and say, you know, it'll never happen again, I'm so sorry. They'll be so remorseful. They might even bawl their eyes out. But when it comes time to holding them accountable for it, the one sign that you know that they did not mean that is they'll end up blaming it on you. And you're back in the cycle again, unfortunately. But those are my top 10 signs of narcissism. Compliments of Miss DoctorRamani Durvasula, I think her last name is. But like I said, I will drop some links to some of her content or videos that she's in that I've watched down in the description. So make sure you check those out. Okay, so I also wanted to make this a two-part thing so I can get it one and done. But I also wanted to talk about Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. There's been a lot of mixed reviews out there about, you know, I mean, there's always mixed reviews when it comes to Tyler Perry stuff. People, there's like one side or the other side. You're either team Tyler Perry or he's the devil type of thing. Like, okay. Some things of Tyler Perry's I like, some things I don't, but 9 times out of 10, I do relate to a lot of his stories, or they just touch me in some way or inspire me in some way. But this one in particular, there were critics that said, you know, why is he continuing to portray Black people or Black women in this light? Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, of course. And, you know, I could see how, you know, it may look like that. But in my opinion, this one was like spot on when it comes to what a narcissistic relationship looks like. I'm not going to give like a full breakdown because I still want some people to watch it. I may give away some spoilers, but there is Megan Good's character, Ava, and then there's Corey Hardrick's character, Dallas. And they go through some tragedy in the beginning of the film, and somehow the blame is put on his wife, Ava. Something tragic happened in Dallas's family, but the blame is put on Ava for it. I mean, literally in the very beginning, he starts gaslighting her and being very reactive and kicking her out of the car, like threatening her, like right off the bat, right? And it got to a point where obviously, like, yes, they're gonna go through a divorce or whatever. But what I like about this film is that it shows the aftermath of dealing with the narcissist and getting out of that relationship. It kind of just shows how Megan Good's character, she goes back to her parents. And I will say that right there, that's not always realistic. It can be there. That's a blessing if you have your parents. Like, I know I can go back to my parents, you know, probably my mama, because every girl wants their mama when they go through something like this, or their dad, you know. But I would cry my mama's arms on this one with how bad this was, because it's just something about that female energy that just relates. But yeah, not everyone always has family or people they can run to. But this character was blessed to be able to have her parents. She took, I think, like just a week off, and she felt so much better just by being nourished from her family. And being loved on and going back to her hometown, didn't have to work for a week, and after she felt like she was getting back to being herself, more likely it's going to take way longer than a week, but it's a movie, so there's that. But it can be very healing to have a support system and people around you to get you through that type of situation. And that's another thing. Those same people were with her while she was going through that, and they were telling her, you know, trying to encourage her to leave, trying to remind her of who she is, but she was blinded and just couldn't see it, and she loved him and she just kept going, and he's that one that actually left her. I will say that. And that does happen, but that don't mean they're really gonna let you go. That's just another manipulation tactic, because in their mind, you're their property, whether you're with them or not. But after she had some time to heal and she was ready to get back to her regular life and her day-to-day, she went through with the divorce. She didn't make no fuss about it. She was willing to leave. That pissed him off. That pissed him off because he probably wanted her to beg and fight like she probably always did. And yeah, that set him off. And then she started moving on with somebody else, of course, because it's a movie. You find somebody else and you're gonna move on, and you know, that's like fuel to their fire. Because like I said, in their mind, they own you. So if someone else can have you, yeah, that's a problem. They're not gonna let you be happy. They're gonna try to sabotage any way possible. They may even make it fatal, or it gets bad. It can get bad. And that's what you see here in this film. I'm not gonna say who it ends bad for, but this movie is really a perfect example. I don't wanna make this, like I said, too long. Plus your girl gotta go to work, my phone about to die, there's a lot going on. But go watch that film if you have Amazon Prime. If not, get the free trial and then cancel it the same day. And you got up until that 7 day or whatever, how long, that's a hack. But a hack that I had to learn, because another story. But yes, Amazon Prime, and I think it's even now on YouTube. I don't want to snitch on whoever put it out there, because I know TP won his coins for this film. But Amazon Prime, go on Amazon Prime and watch it, and you will see what it's like to be with. Matter of fact, if you go watch this film, or if you have already, drop down in the comments what type of narcissist you think that he is, if you know anything about narcissism. Let me know, maybe even after my next video when I explain the different types of narcissists. Let me know if you think that he is a malignant narcissist, a covert narcissist, or an overt narcissist. Those are like the main 3 types, but I'm going to get into some other types as well in the next video. But yet again, thank you guys for watching, and you already know my whole spiel that I always do. But if you're new here, please subscribe to my channel yet again, and like this video if you've already been rocking with me. You know I love you. I'll see you guys in the next video.